HPS Baba. He is the CEO of Weber Technology Limited. Mr. Manjit Naik, Additional Director, Office in Charge, STPI Kolkata. Mr. K. Lalani, Chairman Lalani Infotech. Mr. Satinder Singh, Business at NetApp India. So we have a topic of IT and security framework to protect information assets of SME. So we'll fix into the what has to be the security framework, the smart city in India. We'll just twist the angle how SMEs are related to the smart city. So I just introduce about the theme first. So digitization in SME sector in India is growing fast and the engine of the economic development that creates jobs and curbs economic poverty by empowering the bottom of the pyramid. The growing internet base has direct correlation to growth of commerce in the country. Organizations today need to be increasingly secure and the environment in which they operate is more and more complex and dynamic with attackers using innovative techniques such as emerging mobile and cloud platforms. Security response to this challenge must be equally innovative, a way that helps an organization become nimble-footed to respond quickly to real threats in its environment. A security program needs to be dynamic and vibrant such that enables quick response to threat, vulnerabilities and actual cyber attacks. With new technologies emerging almost every day, business is becoming complex and the growth of ICT industry in India is highly becoming dependent upon SMEs. Because of their rapid growth and proliferation, SMEs play a key role in ensuring that the growth in the sector remains on track. With this panel discussion session, we aim to know how to empower SMEs. Going forward, the huge increase in data that smart cities connected infrastructure will produce raises privacy that may be beyond the scope of existing laws. The current IT Act might not give adequate protection to the citizen data that cities will generate, and there is a need to put in place an appropriate legal framework to address such activities in the smart city ecosystem. Smart cities not only offer the potential for cost-saving efficiencies, but also attractive targets for cybercrime. Let's understand more from the panel on the dais. Let me introduce Mr. Manjit Naik is the Additional Director who heads STPI Kolkata, and Mr. Colonel Baba is the CEO of WTL Technology, is the most popular face in Kolkata. He is the person who orchestrates technology in the Weber. Mr. Lalani, he is a SME and he has got a huge retail chain and catering to the SME and corporate as well. Mr. Satinder Singh, he represents a corporate house where the domain is how to secure, store and transmit, storage domain. So I would like to invite someone from the SME segment from the audience. Can I invite Uday from IRA? Yep. Uday, you have the briefing about the theme. So I just want to start, how we'll start it, one question, everyone, they cannot take more than 1 minute time. You have to be very short. Okay. What will the future of SME in terms of digital transformation? Can I start from Mr. Satyendra?
Okay, I'll just take a minute, but let me put the problem in a perspective from the way you mentioned smart city and other framework. How many of you are aware of attacks that happened in Paris, terrorist attacks that happened in Paris? Most of you would be aware of it. Do you know that 2 days before that attack happened, there was a cyber attack on France smart city systems? The biggest endorsement for that, while this is not widely reported in the media, the biggest endorsement of it came 2 days later when British finance minister went on the record and said that he's allocating additional funds to augment the cyber security program of the nation. He went ahead and made a very, to my mind, a startling statement. He says that this is important to kind of secure lives of their citizens, right? So with that kind of a context, when you're looking at threats, there are threats around what is typically signature based, something that are known, and then there are threats which are called zero-day threats, which are unknown. And the motive of the attacker is not to kind of proliferate systems to just steal information, is to cause damage and even threaten the lives of the citizens. So that's the enormity of the problem. That makes us believe that the security posture has to be, and the policies has to be closely interlinked with the information. And as the information moves, as the information is stored, is transmitted, the security policies have to evolve and adjust and be consistent as the data moves through various tiers. And I think from a leading provider of storage systems, we have taken a lot of steps and developed technology so that the security of the information is inherent to where the information is stored, and those policies are kind of transported as it goes through various stages as the information reaches.
Thank you. What is your perspective? How you see, Mr. Manji?
Data nowadays is very important and very vital things for any SMEs or any companies, for any individuals, even I believe. So everybody has to be taken care about the data and security aspect. See, suppose I am giving one simple example. I have a smartphone mobile today. If today I lost my mobile, say I will lose in two ways. One is my money has gone, another is my data. Rather today I will be worried for my data rather than money. Because money I can earn tomorrow, but the data I will lost through my mobiles. Whatever the important valuable things are inside this mobile, I am rather worried for particular that figure. So like me totally, I believe everybody is bother about their mobile smartphone, particularly for their data, not for that money, I believe. So if I believe for particularly for the smartphone or any small devices, then why should not I worry for my company data? Because I believe company data is most important for any company or any entrepreneurs. Because that is cyber security is nowadays is most important, because a lot of hackings and threats have been coming day by day. So everybody has to be secure their secure data, and they must be optimize their system to challenge this type of threatening what is coming day by day. Thank you.
Loba, you have a wide range of experience. You have to design the architecture for secure your state. What is your perspective on securing SMEs?
I think for me to speak about securing SMEs would be a very wrong person. But what I feel is that data, what he said, is the most important thing. And we had talked about cloud, something that had also covered it up. For any organization, there is certain core data which cannot be put up. There has to be a certain amount of data which has to be in-house and with special security thing. Because if you put anything on a public cloud or even in a hybrid cloud, there will be the risks will be much more. So there are certain core data for any enterprise which has to be secured in-house.
Yes. Lalani sir, what is your perspective? What do you think?
See, a few years back, in SME segment or in company, there was two kind of asset. One is fixed assets, one is liquid asset. If we lose fixed asset, we can recover it. If we lose liquid asset, we can earn it. But data and information is such an asset. Nowadays, it can't recover even. So you don't know where this data will go if it is stolen, and how much damage it can do. Few companies has been closed down because their data was stolen. So it's so important that if it is lost, you can't access how much loss we are going to earn, going to occur in next 2-3 years if it is going with the competitors. How we can secure it? We have to make a security policy, and we have to see that security should be all level. There are 4-5 layers of security. We should start from our PC, standalone PC connected with the server. Then we should go to the go for the server security. There are a lot of things that must be secured. Then we have to secure our network through router, manageable switch, many things. Then it comes to physical security, access control. These 4 or 5 levels, we have to secure data. Otherwise, no one knows what will happen if it has been stolen.
Yeah, so thank you. Uday, what is your perspective as a SME? You are also SME and you are dealing with so many corporate and government bodies. What is your perspective?
Yeah, though I have a lot of technical experience and other things in this field, right? I would like to mention that an SME, he should try to worry about going into a digital world with a security. So he should not be looking at what kind of server I am looking at, or what kind of web application I am looking at, or a client I am looking at. He should see that, okay, that my mobile device or my data or my clients actually, right, should not lose the data. So as actually the service providers, right, you are the people who are dealing with the SMEs, the vendors, right, you have to stitch the solutions for the SME, right, how he should make his, right, the business or life secure by not getting into details of, right, you should not say, okay, that you should have this kind of layers of security and you should have this server. And you should not try to get into too much of technicals with them, but you should give the flavor of, right, security for him to see that, okay, that he can remain safe in his own, right, business while doing with the actually, right, its data storage and retrieval and operations over the right internet or over the private cloud or public cloud. So this is where actually I'm looking at the vendors. When you are proposing to your customers, you should make them a simple presentation than, right, getting into the details of it.
So they will continue to it with the cyber security framework, and we are moving towards the IoT world. Okay, how do you think that the data security is to be the concern in IT-driven initiative with the smart city project? You are IoT expert. Just like so now we are having this kind of thing, right? So once the smart city is a large thing is going IoT-driven things, how is the security concern there? Are you prepared for it?
Yeah, that's where actually I've written some papers on that also about the securing that the devices on the end connectivity. So there is a lot of threat, right? See, people are talking about smart cities and smart devices getting connected, mobile to mobile communications. A lot of that is being told in this. But when you look at actually the end devices, right? So which will have a very thin layer of OS, operating system. So I just now talked about, okay, not getting into technicals, but now I am talking about the technical sense. So when you have a minimum thin layer on an end device, and that should be getting connected to an OS, right, which is sitting in a remote connectivity, there are at least like 4 or 5 layers of communication happens in between, and you need to have a very secured information transfer between these layers. If that is not taken care at every level, right, then you cannot have a secure connectivity. Let us just take an example of, right, a small, I think you would have heard about a lot of solutions like streetlights automation solutions and then parking automation solutions. So these are the various, right, initiatives government is taking, and there is a tender happened in Calcutta, and there is a tender happened in Pune recently, in New Delhi. If you look at there are lakhs of streetlights and lakhs of end devices are getting connected. If you don't have your device, right, very secure, getting connected to the remote server, right, then you might have a threat to that, or somebody takes over the network and then somebody operates, or somebody misuse it also. So at every layer of the network, right, you need to have the secure system. Otherwise, it cannot become a secure first, then the smart actually. So you need to have a secure network at all layers, then only it can become a smart network also.
Who want to add the next from the panel?
I'll take a shot. I think fundamentally, whatever panel has discussed till now, I think the theme that comes to me is that the security is moving from being infrastructure oriented to information oriented. That's point number one. And two is it's becoming more and more relevant because there is a third eye that comes, which is from infrastructure to information to interactions that happen based on that data. And increasingly what we are seeing is the fourth dimension of that fourth eye, which we sometimes take for granted, which is integrated. So I'm going back to the original point that you need to have security not as an afterthought, security integrated with the information infrastructure that you create, so that while you are interacting with the data, your interactions are also very secure. And that can only be made possible if security is an inherent architecture discipline within your information asset architecture. And I think that's crucial, because if it is an afterthought, it's like putting band-aids. Right? Today I have technology number 1 or technology number 2, technology number 3, I put IDS, IPS, APT, there are various kind of security systems that are there. That band-aid approach will never work. So you need to have it integrated as part of the information, and that's where NetApp is has developed a lot of technologies to ensure that the place that you store your information is secure, so that when you interact with that, that security posture is not correct.
What do you think?
What Satinder has said is very true. You have to think about security first as one of the major parameters which is integrated into your entire architecture. Because your data and information is more important than your physical assets, which can always be replaced. And with the concept of the smart cities and the Internet of Things and all these things, like he said, very truly, I mean, I was not aware that there was code in So these things are much more important, and they can cause much more damage to not only the people but to the physical systems or even you can say defense systems and all that, which can cause problems, which will be having manifold repercussions for the country.
So what the audience sees that, what the panel says that, what is your perspective? I want only one person from the audience to have their perspective. Anyone? Can I see a hand? So everyone is agreeing with the panel. So you want to give your perspective, Mr. Naik?
I just want to add something actually. We have did some research actually in that budget estimate allocated from the SME segment and the bigger segment. So my point is SMEs are never focused about the budget of procuring the security devices or the firewall systems or how to store their database. They are not bothered about the equipment side actually. They are, because of very beginning of the business and all, they focus on the marketing, they focus on the product and all. But simultaneously my advice is they should also focus about their data security and their data information, how to be secure properly. Because the lack of funding and lack of awareness, actually these two things have been neglected by many SMEs which we have observed.
Yeah, it is very important for SMEs also to consider on the IT assets, information assets to come. So going forward, do you think that the way we are moving, there has to be a smart laws? There has to be smart laws? For smart, what's your opinion? I think you have answer for it. How the kind of security and threat is coming, you never know what is going to happen after 10 minutes here. How the smart laws has to be? Any idea you want to give prospect?
Well, kind of.
As a common citizen.
I'm not a legal expert, but let me comment on a few aspects. When we are designing systems, it's not that we need to create, given the enormity of the situation, especially for smart city projects, we have talked about what are the bad things that happen when someone steals information, financial loss. Yeah. But when we look at it in context of smart city, we are dealing with people's lives. That's the enormity of the situation. So I don't think so that when we're designing systems for smart city, we need to look at whether a law is there for me to put the right kind of a security architecture on. But essentially, this is a topic that has been discussed and is still being discussed in various agencies within government. Right? So, the Indian security laws, to my opinion, this is my personal opinion, they are fairly, I'll say, up to date. Obviously, there are scope for improvement. And Indian Anti-Act has seen some amendments. There are new amendments that have been discussed. I think Government of India has the right kind of people. They have got a CISO now handling Government of India as an enterprise. And obviously these things are being deliberated and discussed. But my point is that when we are dealing with security, let law not be an impediment to deploying certain critical technologies.
Uday, can you give some light into it?
See, in my perspective, I think the smart city initiatives, right, that I'll talk about that mainly. The government has not come up with any defined laws actually, right, for the data security. Though they are working on it actually, but not really on the devices which are, see, I will concentrate more on the devices to be right installed than on the server side or on the storage side. So, you will be seeing at least billions of devices deployed all over India, at least in India I'm talking about, not on the other countries. So when these devices are deployed, various devices controlling actuators or monitors and other things, there's no fixed rules mentioned, right, what kind of data security should be there and what kind of controlling should be done on those devices. And this is not even explicitly mentioned in any one of the RFPs also. I think that needs to be properly taken care by drafting those specifications.
I think, as I remember, there are 3 acts already has been passed, enacted for data security. Yes, updation is required every 6 months because it's fast changing. So that is in process also.
Baba, you have anything to say on it?
I can only say that they will make laws. Criminals will always be smarter than the laws. People who break the laws will always be smarter than the people who are making the laws.
You can say sorry also.
So, but yeah, there needs to be a legal framework and it needs to be smart enough to change with the changing dynamics and but you will see the people who actually are these people who excess or have the security, they are always smarter and till now they have been smarter than the people who have protected, but still we have to take all the efforts to really put the network, put the systems in place. And what he's saying is true. The RFPs also have to be
Designed
in such a way that they consider this thing. This is one of the major threats.
Mike, you have something to say on it?
Entire smart city project, we have to think in just in a positive sense, and definitely there is a threat and all, but still we have to looking forward to success the entire programs which is tried by Government of India.
SME is a large part of chunk. We can see the business in the country. So how you would think that how SME could empower to think about on the data security and all? You think you can give some light on it?
So the question is the
How
relevance of security.
is the security for how to protect the information assets of SME?
I think I kind of answered it. Fundamentally, it's not, when we think of SMEs, the problem associated with security is not small or medium. The impact to SME, if their information is lost, is as critical as it is to a big bank or a large enterprise. So I think, as I said, regardless of the size of your IT system, given that you are going digital, given that you are adopting clouds, security has to be an integrated part of your IT architecture. And it's more relevant to SMEs given the cloud fabric. So when I talked about data fabric, you would have realized I talked about how you can move your security policies also across various ecosystem players, so that while you create security frameworks, you do not lose out on the flexibility aspect. Because otherwise, I think, it will always be treated with the banded approach that I was.
So what do you think, Mr. Naik?
Similarly, that same security is, everybody told this is very vital things, and everybody has to be focused on that, and particularly data security and the key thing for one individual company. I believe that if data migrated to somewhere else or is stolen, then it's a big loss for the company. So everybody should adopt new technologies and must be sure that their data and their information be secured in proper manner.
Baba, you have to give this, want to give some light to it? You want to give some light into the thing?
I think I said most of the things, but like he said that the loss of information or the security threat is equal for all, but I feel it's more for a SME because actually it can be deliberating and it can actually ruin a small enterprise, while a bigger enterprise can still take certain shots. For a smaller enterprise, it will be for a small shop also saying and
So now it is a Q&A session for the floor. Anyone have a question? Can you raise the hand? Please. Can I have the mic, please? Please make your question very short.
So the gentleman from Dell said that a small, that thin computer, thing uses 10% less power than the normal desktop or a laptop, the normal fat one. So I mean, could you give some numbers so that you get a clear perspective? Say one laptop, how much can you say using 8 hours a day? How much power? What is the value of the power that he uses, and what is the cost of the power that he uses? While the thin one, which uses 10% only of that, in monetary terms, how much is that? So that you get some perspective.
Yeah, can I have the Dell person here? Is there? Not there? Okay, maybe after we will take up the question later with the Dell person. But it's a thin client which is it will connect to your 8 to 10 desktop. You need not to have a single CPU for that. So you can connect 8 to 10 monitor and connect to a single thin client. You can have your job. That is good for the
first gentleman who spoke from CDAC.
Okay.
He spoke on face recognition technology.
Yes.
And he spoke of various.
He spoke about third eye.
Yeah. Now, why is it not being used for anti-terrorist operation? Because
they are looking for.
There is the main use.
I know. So
main use.
Yeah, they are looking for the right entrepreneur to come and market the product. It is a patent thing. They have taken the US patent. Okay, they're looking for some investor like SEMI to come up and invest, take in the product to the market. Thank you, sir. Any more question? We can have the last question.
Wrap up the session.
Okay, thank you very much.